If you are embarrassed by your dog's behavior when you have guests to your house, we have some help. Here to show us training techniques you can start today, we welcome back canine behavior consultant Brie Blakeman and her buddy Yuka. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Hannah.
Happy holiday season. This is a busy time. We're going to have lots of people showing up at the front door, and I think a lot of us have that embarrassing experience of a little overeager dog who just wants to greet the guests. So what are some things that we should watch out for? There's a term called growl zones. We should start there.
Yes. So sometimes we think that our dog is just really excited to greet a guest, but what's happening is they're overstimulated.
Okay.
And jumping can be a sign of like care-seeking behavior that I'm having a hard time right now and I don't really know what to do. So growl zones are hot spots where conflict can arise. These are places or events that make dogs uncomfortable enough to lunge, snap, growl, or even bite. And it's really common for bites to go way up during the holiday season.
Sure.
So I want to provide some tips to help with that.
And you're going to demonstrate for us too some good ways we can make sure everybody has a positive experience this busy season.
Yes.
Where should we start?
Well, I want to talk about those growl zones. So one common growl zone is resources. So resources are anything that a dog values, like food, toys, access to a person, or a sleeping space. And asking dogs to navigate resources around other dogs and strange people is a common area of conflict. So anytime our dogs have a resource, we want to put them away in a comfortable alone zone with that resource to prevent issues. Another common growl zone is going to be tight spaces. So anywhere that our dog's flight option is removed. So if they feel like they're trapped and they can't get away, they may have to escalate their behavior. So those can be hallways, doors, and crowds of people. So really monitoring our dog in those tight spaces to make sure that they're feeling okay is really important. I also recommend having your dog drag a leash inside. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment, but that can really help you guide your dog out of those tight spaces. So another growl zone is going to be a sleep startle. So when your dog is resting, this is a very overstimulating event. They need time to decompress. And it's best to take them away from the action in order to let them do that. Otherwise, they may startle awake and growl, snap, or bite. And then following that, we have our forced interactions. This one happens a lot. So forcing a dog to pose for photos around other dogs or people they're not comfortable with, getting handled or forced to say hi to a baby or a child. These aren't things that any dog is going to really enjoy without a lot of experience and structure around that. So we definitely want to discourage forced interactions.
So those are some things to watch out for, and then you have some great tips to help us navigate all those situations.
Absolutely. So again, for resources, putting your dog away using baby gates or
these
play
little
pens.
pens, you can kind of fully encapsulate this space. My dog has one of these, and it's totally his zen area. He just will relax in there.
Yeah, so if you can, having baby gates at different entry points is really valuable. Otherwise, a playpen or a crate that your dog really associates with calm and good times. It's been really positively charged is ideal. Again, having your dog tethered either to you on a leash or to a couch away from the action. It's all about preventing them from having to growl, having to express discomfort by giving them space.
Does the sensation of them just being on a leash, even if they're just dragging it, does that do something for them?
It can for some dogs. It can be a cue to focus on you more. But during all of this, we really want to be providing them with valuable information about what to do using positive reinforcement, using treats. So capturing and rewarding really desirable behaviors. If they greet that guest and don't jump, mark and treat it, or just offer them a treat. If they relax, like my dog Yuka is doing right here, you want to make sure to give them feedback. I like that. I like what you're doing, and you want to give it often. So one thing that trainers do that a lot of pet dog parents don't do is feed constantly.
Totally.
And we're timing our treats with desirable behaviors, and we're giving them a really hefty paycheck.
Yes.
Because this is a really hard task.
It's worth it too to have a good experience for everybody. What if you do, despite some preparation, find yourself in a tough situation? You've got a dog that's jumpy or getting a little bit aggressive. How can you kind of calm things down?
Yeah, so what I would do is I would get some kind of chew or puzzle toy, like you see in here. We've got a snuffle mat. This is a little treat dispensing ball. And I'm gonna actually put my dog away in a comfortable space that prior to the event I've conditioned to be positive. And I'm gonna put my dog in that space with something to do.
Okay.
So even if person's walking through the door, dog is jumping, we would want to direct them away from that space and provide them with something.
Should we demonstrate
let's
walking
do it.
in the door? I'm going to knock on the door here and see. You can show us the correct way, because Yuka is such a great
come here.
demonstrator here.
So
all right,
knock
I'm going to knock, knock, knock.
Awesome. I'm going to open that door. Go to your den. And look, she already knows.
Come
on. She knows that.
Did you, like the most perfect dog ever, Yuka.
But that doesn't happen overnight. And I'm certainly not going to be able to train that the day of the event. I'm going to be stressed.
Yes.
Right?
There's something on the stove. The kids need a toy. There's a lot of things happening. So the preparation.
Yep. We want to prepare well in advance and start training these things right away. So the first tip to make an alone zone a positive space is to put everything your dog loves in that space.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you want to make sure that you're actually letting them out of that space before they become stressed about being separated.
Okay.
Once they can be in there for some duration of time, you could start to use a treat dispenser, like I have here, to remove yourself from the equation, slowly moving further and further away from the pen as you dispense treats.
Nice.
So that, of course, it's not
there we go. I saw a little nugget come out there. There you go.
Perfect. So this allows me to be socializing with my guests while rewarding my dog for calm behavior in her pen.
A great tool.
And she's getting her needs met. She's not stressed about me not being next to her. And I'm able to actually be a person and talk to my guests.
For sure. You guys are both having a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
What if you find yourself in a situation where you come into someone else's home and their dog is having trouble kind of greeting and going through that situation? Are there ways that we can help
absolutely.
other pets and their people kind of navigate that as well?
The biggest thing is minding our own body language. So a dog that is really stressed doesn't respond well to our ways of helping, which are usually providing eye contact, trying to reach down and give them affection.
All of our instincts as humans are opposite.
As primates are a little opposite. So that's like a space invasion. It's better to actually ignore the dog, to toss them treats behind them so they're exiting and moving away from the situation. But don't talk to them. Don't tell them, hey, you're a good boy. Like they don't want any more attention. Just help them move away and ignore them. They don't exist. As hard as that is.
No. And what about the Jack-in-the-Box zones? What are those all about?
So dogs who are fearful or overwhelmed by guests, or particularly this pertains to guests, strangers. These are zones in which startle happens. So sudden environmental contrast are events like someone suddenly entering a room. The dog isn't aware when that's going to happen. The anticipation that it might happen is there, but they don't know when, and suddenly someone enters. They're going to bark, they're going to startle. So we've got entering spaces, standing up. I hear this all the time. My dog's totally fine with guests, but as soon as they stand up, she starts barking again. So reward your dog when someone stands up. Give them a lot of treats, because that is a common point to become startled. Space invasion, we already talked about. And then exiting the bathroom. That's a very common one. The dog hears the toilet flush, and just like a Jack-in-the-Box toy, the anticipation of
somebody behind that door.
The monster's gonna pop out of nowhere. And then again, our sleep startle. So these are things we want to really watch out for, and just know that they are hard for our dogs. Your dog's not being bad, they're having a really hard time, and you can make it better for them by showing them it's okay with positive reinforcement, a lot of treats. for those events.
They deserve it. Better for them and better for us and everybody to enjoy the holiday together.
And start practicing these things now
absolutely.
because it takes time.
It does. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
tips. Great stuff to work on the next month here as we get ready for the big holidays. Okay, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.